My name is Emily Carter. Welcome back to another story from the Heartland. I hope you're having a peaceful day. 2 years ago, my husband and his 2 brothers left me stranded at a truck stop off I-70 in eastern Kansas, 112 miles from our home in Topeka. They laughed as they drove away in his Silverado. "Figure it out yourself, Em," he yelled out the window. I never went back home. Today, I'm finally telling the full story. I met Ryan Whitaker at a church potluck in Topeka 7 years ago. I was 26, working as a paralegal at a small law firm downtown, living in a 1-bedroom apartment with secondhand furniture and big dreams of saving enough for a house. Ryan was 29, a shift supervisor at the big distribution center on the edge of town. Tall, easy smile, the kind of guy who remembered to bring extra folding chairs when we volunteered at the food bank. We clicked right away. He liked my quiet nature and how I organized everything. I liked that he was steady, showed up on time, and came from a close family. After 2 years of dating, he proposed at Clinton Lake during a 4th of July picnic. Fireworks going off overhead, my heart racing. I said yes. Everyone clapped. His parents hugged me tight. His brothers, Derek and Travis, slapped him on the back and called me Little Sis for the first time. We got married in a simple ceremony at the same church where we met. White roses, string lights in the fellowship hall, maybe 70 people. My mom cried happy tears. Ryan's family was loud and fun. Back then, I thought that was warm. I didn't realize how much space they would take. The first 2 years of marriage were okay. We bought a modest ranch house on the west side of Topeka. I kept working. He kept his steady job with good benefits. Weekends, we'd grill in the backyard, watch Chiefs games, talk about maybe starting a family someday. It felt normal. American dream small-town version. Then Derek and Travis started coming around more. Derek, the oldest at 34, worked construction and always had opinions about everything. Travis, 28, bounced between warehouse jobs and side gigs. They'd show up unannounced, drink beer in our garage, talk loud, and stay late. Ryan changed when they were around. He laughed louder, stood taller, and slowly stopped checking with me before making plans. It started small. Our anniversary dinner got canceled because Derek needed help moving a couch at 7 p.m. My 30th birthday, Travis talked Ryan into a weekend fishing trip up at Perry Lake. "It's family, Em. You understand." I smiled and said I did. I always said I did. The red flags were there if I had let myself see them. Ryan's phone constantly buzzing with group texts. The way he'd step outside to take calls and come back smirking. The jokes they made about me being high maintenance because I liked the house clean and dinner at a decent hour. I overheard them in the garage once. "She's got you on a short leash, bro." Ryan laughed along. I made myself smaller to keep the peace. I cooked for all 3 of them when they came over. I laughed at jokes that weren't funny. I stopped complaining when Ryan chose his brothers over our plans again and again. I told myself this was what marriage was. Compromise, family loyalty, being the understanding wife. Last September, we were supposed to drive to a friend's wedding in Columbia, Missouri. Just the 2 of us. A nice little getaway. But at the last minute, Ryan said his brothers wanted to come. "Make it a guy's trip. You don't mind riding along, right, babe?" I swallowed the knot in my stomach and said sure. The drive was tense from the start. They whispered in the back seat, checked their phones constantly. Every time I asked what was going on, they'd say, "Nothing," with that same smirk. When we pulled into the big truck stop off I-70 near the Kansas-Missouri line, Ryan said we needed gas and a bathroom break. I went inside to use the restroom. When I came out, they were already back in the truck, engine running. I walked toward the passenger door. Ryan rolled down the window, gave me a cold smile I'd never seen before, and said, "Find your own way back, Emily." Then he hit the gas. Gravel flew. Their laughter faded down the highway. I stood there in the parking lot in my sandals and sundress, 112 miles from home, with $23 in my purse, half a bottle of water, and no cell service at first. The September sun was still brutal. Trucks roared past. For 20 minutes, I actually believed they'd come back. It had to be a joke. A stupid, mean prank. They didn't come back. The anger came slow at first, then all at once. Every canceled plan, every forgotten birthday, every time he chose them over me. It all lined up like evidence in a case I'd been ignoring for years. This wasn't spontaneous. They had planned it, laughed about it ahead of time, turned my humiliation into their bonding activity. I started walking toward the truck stop exit with my thumb out. Most rigs didn't stop. After almost an hour, an older couple in a minivan heading to St. Louis pulled over. The wife took one look at my face and said, "Get in, honey." I cried the whole way to the next big town. They bought me a bus ticket to Kansas City and wished me well. I didn't go back to Topeka. I turned my phone off for 3 days. When I finally turned it on in a cheap motel room in Kansas City, there were 47 messages, mostly from Ryan. First angry, then worried, then angry again. I didn't reply to any of them. Instead, I called my cousin Lauren in Denver. She'd moved there 3 years earlier for a job in marketing. She answered on the first ring. 2 days later, I was on a bus heading west with everything I owned in 2 suitcases. I got a studio apartment in Aurora, found a new paralegal job within 3 weeks, and slowly started rebuilding. I blocked Ryan's number, changed my last name back to Carter legally, started running in the mornings along the trails near Cherry Creek, joined a book club, went to therapy for the first time in my life. Ryan showed up in Denver 14 months later. Someone had told him where I was. He looked tired, thinner, standing outside my apartment complex with flowers. Said he was sorry, said his brothers had pushed him into it, said he missed me and wanted to try again. I looked at him, really looked, and felt nothing but calm distance. I told him the marriage was over. I told him I had already found my own way back, not to him, but to myself. Then I walked inside and didn't look back. Today I have a small but peaceful life, a better job, friends who show up, quiet Sunday mornings with coffee and no group texts ruining them. I still think about that hot afternoon on I-70 sometimes, not with sadness anymore, with gratitude. They thought they were teaching me a lesson about independence. They were right, just not the way they meant. If you've ever been made to feel small in your own marriage, or abandoned by the person who promised to stand by you, know this: you can find your own way back. It might be scary. It might mean starting over in a new city with nothing but 2 suitcases and quiet determination, but you can do it. Thank you for listening to my story. If it meant something to you, I'd appreciate you sharing it. Be kind to each other out there, and never be afraid to choose yourself when no one else will. This is Emily Carter, wishing you strength and better days ahead.